Welcome to Power Up Memphis. I'm your host, Gale Jones Carson, the Vice President of Community and External Affairs for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. The aim of Power Up Memphis is to take you, our customers, on an inside tour of MLGW to share our programs and operations with you. And by doing so, we can all better understand how we function as your utility provider. Today's guests are Brad Gates, who's the Manager of Electric Construction and Maintenance, and we also have with us today Marshall Foster, who's the General Supervisor in Electric Distribution. So welcome, Marshall. Thank you so very much for being here with us.
You're more than welcome.
So at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, we have about 300 or 400 jobs that are open. We have a major jobs recruitment campaign going on so we can get those jobs filled and complete our infrastructure plan by 2027. So we are focusing on the various professions at MLGW so everyone will know that we have a wide range of jobs, job titles, job functions available for those who want to come work for a company that has great pay and great benefits. So Marshall, so right now you are a supervisor of electric distribution, and so tell us about Marshall.
Well, Marshall started here in 1992. I started off in right-of-way grounds.
Okay.
And after that I moved into the electric field. That was a field that I wanted to get in.
Okay.
So after 30 years, that's where I am now. I'm General Supervisor over electric distribution. I started, like I said, in electric underground construction, went to a helper, went to a lineman, and worked my way up. Wow,
that's amazing. That's a good story. So, Marshall, one of the, I think, attractive jobs that we have is being a lineman. So could you tell us, how does a person become a lineman? What is the beginning process?
The beginning process is basically going to be to find out when we would have the lineman apprenticeship classes.
Okay.
And those classes are held at MLGW University and at Southwest. They work basically hand in hand together.
Okay.
One side at the MLGW Training Center, they're basically going to get their schoolwork, bookwork, in-class work. Out at Southwest, they're going to basically receive the hands-on portion of that. That'll be the climbing, the knowledge of how to frame and work on the pole.
Okay, so how long is that process from the book side to the actual experience doing the work at Southwest?
Okay, that is going to be basically about a 6-month to a year class.
Okay.
That they go through. But as far as the apprenticeship,
okay,
once they are enrolled, once they have officially been accepted into the apprenticeship, that is a 4-year apprenticeship.
Okay, so what is required to be accepted into the 4-year apprenticeship program?
You just have to complete the classes at MLGW University and the classes at Southwest. You have to pass those classes. And then after the interview process, if you're successful in that interview process, then you'll be hired as a pre-apprentice helper.
So how many classes do we offer per year?
I think we have 2 classes per year.
Okay.
And then after those classes, that's when we basically try to interview those participants that was in that class that were successful, and then we get them in as a pre-apprentice helper.
Okay, so how many are accepted per class?
Per class, they try to keep it at around 30.
Okay.
30 per class.
So just curious, how many make it out?
Once you get into the class, there may be, if you have a class of 30, realistically, you may come out of that class with, I'm going to say, between 15 and 20.
Is it hard?
Give or take. Being a lineman is a very hard job. You have to be dedicated to it. Okay. It's a lot of strenuous work. A lot of times, mainly with climbing. A lot of people may be afraid of heights. And there's a lot of times that not only do we climb 30, 35, 45, 50, 60 70-foot poles. We also have our tower work as well, where we have to climb towers that could be up to 250 feet as
Wow.
well. And that would be once they are further along in their apprenticeship.
Okay, so what happens in the apprenticeship program?
What happens in the apprenticeship program basically is that employee goes through that apprenticeship. He's hired in as a helper.
Okay.
Once he makes his 6 months, he go into being a pre-apprentice.
Okay.
Okay, and he goes through steps. He will be a first-year apprentice, second-year apprentice, third-year apprentice, fourth-year apprentice. After that fourth-year apprentice, he is scheduled to take his test. As long as he is successful through all of his book work and hands-on tests, then he will take his 4-year journeyman level test. After that test, he's successful. He's become a journeyman level lineman.
Okay, so how many linemen do we have? Not in the apprenticeship program, but overall, how many linemen does Memphis Light, Gas, and Water employ right now?
Right now, we probably looking at, or if you're looking at, what I have to do is break it down as far as the linemen from center to center. You're looking at probably about 50 from Hickory Hill Center to North Center, but at the same time, our troubleshooters are linemen as well.
Oh,
so we
okay.
would have to include those guys as well. So we're looking at maybe about, I'm gonna say between 85 to 100, give or take.
So do the troubleshooters who also can do lineman work, were they linemen at first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then they moved over to troubleshooters.
Yes, ma'am.
Why
One-
did they leave the lineman full-time job to become a troubleshooter? Which troubleshooters go out and assess damage, and they make sure that engineers and others who need to know about what the damage is, the level of the damage, and then they can determine what crews need to be sent out. So the ones who are now troubleshooters, what made them change?
Well, that is basically a promotion.
Oh, great, okay.
Yes, troubleshooter job is a promotion. Once they become a journeyman level lineman, then what happens is they have the opportunity to bid for a troubleshooter job if there is an opening.
Okay.
And understand, those troubleshooters are very important. They're our first line. They're the ones that are out there when storms and things of that nature hit. They are the first ones that go out. They have to make the call if it's a hit pole. They're the ones that's calling in and notifying Station C on the basically what the problems are.
Yeah.
As far as what size pole it is, how big of an outage that it may hold, things of that nature. So they're our first line, and they have to relay that information to them, so it in turns be related, to the crews that have to go out and
So
do
we
the
may
work.
have a major storm, those troubleshooters are deployed to all those areas. They determine the trouble, the damage, and they let the system and everyone know what the trouble is and what's required as far as which crews need to be sent out.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Not so much as what crew that needs to be sent out, but making sure that there is a crew
A crew.
out so that we can have the proper information that the crew need to know. If there's wire down in a backyard, if the pole is broken in this backyard, and at the same time, they're linemen, so they also will assist the crew if needed as well.
Oh, great, great, okay. All right, so what kind of pay are we talking about to be a lineman?
Well, when you're looking at being a lineman, that pay, as far as a journeyman lineman, you're making, give or take, about $42.
An hour?
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty good. And then also coming with that per hour rate, when we have storms where linemen have to go out like after hours, that goes up to time and a half, or double time, whether it's on the weekend or Sunday or whatever, or holiday, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So we've been having a lot of storms. So I'm thankful for our troubleshooters and our linemen. So what made you decide, Marshall, to become a lineman at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water?
Basically, back in '92, I was working out at McCoy Pumping Station, and back then, that's where they held a lot of the lineman rodeo and the practices and things of that nature, because they had a set of poles where the guys would come out. And so I got to see firsthand, as a young guy being here, and I got to see firsthand those guys climbing and things like that. So that was really interesting to me. So I started talking to those guys, just seeing what I would need to do to try to get into that. And so that's basically how I really got into this.
And so you have enjoyed that work, and then were constantly moving up at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water to now you're a supervisor over linemen, troubleshooters, and what other professions?
Well, basically, as a supervisor, we're over everybody that is in electric as far as that works directly under us.
Okay.
And that is utility workers, operators, crew leaders. Those are the guys that work in the underground side of it, the ones that have to do the digging and pulling cable, things of that nature. Also, we're over the linemen, linemen and crew leader, linemen and apprentice linemen.
And the troubleshooters?
No. The
You're not over
troubleshooters,
okay.
the troubleshooters, we're over them, but they also have a supervisor, which is Todd Carr, who that's his area.
Okay.
He is over those guys. He's the one that kind of, send those guys out.
Okay, so.
But we all work hand in hand.
So, Marsha, I really, really appreciate you coming on and talking about the various jobs that are very critical to MLGW. You mentioned the troubleshooters, you mentioned the linemen, you mentioned utility workers. I appreciate you sharing that information. So as we close out, what would you tell folks who may aspire to be a lineman or who aspire to be a troubleshooter, which a troubleshooter could be promoted up to from a lineman? So what kind of advice would you give folks as we encourage people to come to Memphis Light, Gas, and Water? We have good pay, we have good benefits.
What I would tell them is, first of all, when you're looking at this line of work, understand that this line of work, yes, it's going to be very rewarding, very rewarding, but at the same time, it is a very dangerous job. But if you come in, if this is something you're looking at, we need someone who is going to be, safety motivated, be flexible, because with this job, you have to be flexible.
When you say flexible, you mean time?
I mean flexible with time.
Okay.
Because there's going to be a lot of times, you have to think about it, there's going to be a lot of times when the storms hit and we're at home, you're with your families and things of that nature. You're the ones that's going to have to be called out. And the way I kind of look at it is that we're basically the heartbeat of Memphis when you look at it, because when that power is out, we're the ones that have to be the people that come in.
Yeah.
All times of the night, all times of, weather, rain, sleet, snow,
holidays,
whatever, holidays, all of that. We have to be the ones to come in to make sure that we satisfy the citizens of, Shelby County. And that goes into that flexibility, being flexible, just being, team oriented, team driven. Because understand, when you're with those people you're working with, your linemen, you have to be a team. It's a team effort. And we're looking for people that are going to be team, driven, flexible, safety minded, and meaning safety minded, because you think about it, as a trouble man, you have to be safety minded because you're by yourself a lot.
Well, I know we put a great deal of emphasis on safety at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water. It's a daily effort, communicating about safety, safety exercises. Like Memphis Light, Gas, and Water makes that a priority at Memphis for our workers. And so, but anyway, Marshall, as we end, again, I want to thank you so very much, not for just coming on the show and sharing with us what we need to know about these different jobs, but also the work that you have done at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water, the dedication that you have had for this company and the work that you do. So we greatly appreciate you, Marshall. Thank you.
Thank you, Gale. I really appreciate it.
On this segment of Power Up Memphis, we will be talking with Brad Gates, who's manager in electric construction and maintenance, and we are going to be talking about the L.E.D street lights that has been started, implementation, I think it was in February? January. We began the implementation process in January. The goal is to have everything done by more than 77,000 street lights installed by the end of the year. So as we have, or I have listened to some of our customers all over Shelby County complaining about darkness, complaining about crime and wanted to be safe, the city of Memphis and Memphis Light Gas and Water partnered to make sure that installing LED streetlights became a priority for Memphis Light Gas and Water. So, Brad, tell us what you see as the primary benefits of having the LED streetlights.
Thank you, Gail. Yes, like you stated, the first is the safety of our citizens and the public, the general public. We feel like these LED lights give a more constant, continuous light, which will enhance visibility. Secondly, it will help us achieve our goals in a reduction of electricity as well as carbon. We're looking at a reduction of 55% energy as well as a greenhouse reduction of almost 27,000 metric tons. Thirdly, the maintenance cost should go down. These fixtures and nodes have a 10-year warranty, and we're expecting to get 15 to 20 years out of this product. So therefore, that's less truck rolls and less dollars for our maintenance staff.
Okay, so those benefits that you just mentioned offset some of the questions and concerns that we've had regarding the cost of implementing these lights. It costs millions of dollars to implement these lights, but based on everything you just said, we will more than recoup those costs with some of what are the costs, the reductions that we're going to be having that will lead to these cost reductions or savings for our customers?
Right, that's absolutely right. The combination of the energy, electricity cost reduction as well as the maintenance cost reduction will allow us to pay for these in-house using those funds to pay for this project.
Okay, so also the expected life of these lights will help as well. We won't have to change lights as often.
That's right, that's right. They're a minimum 10-year warranty, but studies show that they're getting 15 to 20 years out of these products, so we're expecting to get the same results here at Memphis.
Okay, so right now, how often do we have to change the lights prior to pre-LED lights?
You know, it varies, different causes and whatnot, but the majority, I would say, we do approximately 24,000 maintenances a year.
Wow.
And we're doing 77,000 conversions, so you can look at, if you assume that, we touch a light, once every 3 years, we're changing that light out.
Okay, so we kicked off in January, and how many, by the end of December, how many will we have installed?
Close to 78,000 lights here in the city of Memphis.
And that'll be all the lights in the city of Memphis?
That's correct. It's the decoratives, the Cobra heads, the interstate lights, they all will be converted.
So I do have to ask you this question because it constantly comes up. Why are we not installing lights in Shelby County, since Shelby County are our customers? All of Shelby County are our customers.
Right. We are looking at projects to incorporate those lights as well. We have been talking to the city mayors, and actually we have plans to start on their projects in January of 2024.
That's great. That's great. So we're going to service all of our customers.
That's it. That's the goal, is to get all LEDs as well as install the lighting management solution.
Okay. And what is the management lighting solution?
It is a auto notification to MLGW when the lights are out. Currently, we rely on our customers and ratepayers to notify us when the light is out. This will automatically notify us and produce a work order so we can send a truck to make the repairs prior to you having to call it in and wait long times and to delay these outages even further. So this is a really good system that we're implementing.
Okay, that's good. So we had a question the other day at one of our meetings about when does that kick in, where customers will not have to, say for example, if you already got some LED lights installed, when those lights go out now, will it automatically alert our system, or do we have to wait for the entire system to be complete?
We have to wait for the entire system to be complete, so we make sure we get all the glitches and all worked out. So I'd say January 1, 2024, we'll be able to utilize this lighting management software to produce tickets for our customers, enabling them not to call in, and that way we'll know before they know.
Oh, great, great. Yes. I'm looking forward to this new technology, this new level of lighting, this new level of safety that people will feel comfortable with. So has anyone complained about the lights being too bright?
No, not really. The most complaints I get is, when are you going to be in our neighborhood to change the lights? Now, I think MLGW made a great decision going with the 3,000 Kelvin temperature versus the 4,000 Kelvin, because when we were making the fixture selection back in the fall, we were getting a lot of comments, I will say, about 4,000 K being too bright, too harsh of a color. So I'm glad we went with the 3,000 K. That way it gives us the opportunity to be dark sky compliant. So I think that was a really good move by the division.
Okay, so I know people are excited that this is coming. And people want to know when we're going to get to the neighborhood. So what is it that we have on our website that customers can go to find out what's been done and when we're going to get to them?
Right. Some of our partners with Amoresco as well as All World created a web page. The URL is www.memphisled.com. And on that page, it has an interactive map where you can zoom into your neighborhood and click on the zone that your neighborhood is associated with, and it'll give you an estimated start time. And then as the lights are being converted, they change from red to green. So it's a really good tool that they've incorporated for MLGW.
So that right now is a dashboard that our customers can go to find out what we've done and where we're headed and when we will get to them.
Yes, exactly right. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to talk about the LED streetlights before we move to another major project going on in Memphis?
I don't think so. Just I'd remind our customers to be patient. We are going to finish mid-December of this year, so we will be in your neighborhood. I don't think that we've forgotten about you, so just be patient and we will convert all the lights, and everybody will benefit as well as the customers and MLGW as a whole.
Yeah, so how do we decide on which areas we would start with first and go through all of Memphis? How was that direction decided?
Well, I pretty much decided that we would just start at the river and work east. We're kind of going through a snake mechanism. We're starting south and going north, and then coming back south and going north as we go across the Shelby County. I just felt that would give everybody an opportunity to see the lights, not to show favoritism in one area. So I was glad that we were able to do it that direction, and I think we've had zero complaints about the way we've laid it out.
Because it looks fair.
Right, yeah.
Okay. And we started with Westwood, right?
That's right,
we started with Westwood. And I run into some residents there, and they are so happy. Number one, that we did it, and then we started with them.
Right.
Because there was a lot of darkness there, and so I'm happy that we are doing this in a way that makes our customers happy.
Yes.
So, okay, let's go to the Whitehaven project, and it is called...
the Elvis Presley Retrofit Project.
Okay, so this is a project that we partnered with the city of Memphis on, right? And that is to, why are we doing this project?
Yeah, this came about years ago. What they wanted is try to beautify the Elvis Presley area. So what they wanted us to do, MLGW, is to remove all of those ugly overhead lines and bury them underground.
Okay.
So our engineering staff worked with the city, and they came up with a game plan. So now we are currently working on that. We started in really December of 2022.
Okay.
So we're making headway now. So we have multiple crews out there daily trying to get this done and out of the way, because we know it's a traffic nightmare, so we apologize. But at the end of the day, I think, and at the end of this project, everybody's really going to be happy for the end result.
So how is this impacting businesses along the Elvis Presley corridor?
Well, traffic for once. I travel that direction often, and I know there's long wait times, and there's driveway aprons for these businesses that get flooded with the traffic because of we've got lanes shut down and all. So like I stated, I would please be patient with us. We're trying to get out of your way. What we're doing is we're putting the conduit in, and we're trying to get it paved as quick as we can. That way we can open up that section back up, and therefore will not affect your business. Try not to for a long period of time.
Okay, so did we start with like Elvis Presley and Brooks, and then we're going south?
Well, Elvis Presley and Brooks was primarily already underground, not much overhead. We converted the street lights there to LEDs.
Oh, great.
So what we did next, we started phase 2. We started at pretty much Craft and Elvis Presley, and we're working north up to Winchester. Okay. So currently we're right north of the Graceland Mansion. We're trying to get out of that direction before Elvis Week in August. So by the time August gets here, we'll be past the mansion, have all that put back to normal, and hopefully the traffic will flow like it always has.
Well, I'm sure the Elvis Presley Mansion staff, as well as our visitors from around the world who come to Memphis and start in June and July, will be happy that we will have completed that work, and made it more aesthetically beautiful. So once we get past the mansion, so where do we go next? How do we go down Elvis Presley?
Yeah, we'll be continuing to go up to Winchester
Okay.
and Elvis Presley, and that's where it stops there.
So we don't go up to Shelby Drive. We stop at Winchester.
Right, for this phase, and then phase 3 we'll go to Shelby Drive. That's correct. We'll go south to Shelby Drive.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So when we go to Winchester, what's the estimated time of completion there? So anything from Winchester to Brooks Road after a period of time, that will be done, right?
Right.
So what's the time frame for completing up to Winchester?
We're probably looking at another year, I would say, because there's a lot of interference, a lot of work, and all the businesses that are overhead will have to underground feed as well. So right now we're worried about the main trunk line, we call it, and then we'll eventually have to worry about the customer feeds off of this main trunk line. So it'll be a little bit more tedious then. This is time consuming as well, but this is where the main backbone is being installed.
Okay, so then we'll go from Winchester to Shelby Drive.
That's correct. I believe it's Craft to Shelby Drive, isn't
Craft
it?
to Shelby.
Yeah,
Okay,
going
Craft
south.
Okay,
Yes.
going south is Craft to Shelby Drive.
Yes.
So when we complete this project, what will be the end product for our customers in the Whitehaven area on the Elvis Presley businesses? And
Well, I think of number one, aesthetics for the businesses. You'll get rid of all these poles and all these ugly attachments, and from an MLGW standpoint, reliability. Because majority now your backbone is going to be underground fed versus overhead fed. Therefore, it's not susceptible to trees and everything else, and wind and all like it is today.
yeah, which we do have a lot of trees out there. So, some people do think that underground is the answer to everything. Is it?
In my opinion, in some areas it is, and others not. You have to weigh the cost versus the reward, in my opinion, because no matter if you go underground in a section, it's got to come in overhead somewhere.
Yeah.
You cannot have a true 100% underground system. Transmission, 99% is overhead, so you may run into the same result of the wind and the structures and everything else getting damaged by the weather. So in some areas, in neighborhoods, I would say yes, but some of the business districts, it's a little bit more difficult. But we have to just weigh the reward versus the cost, really.
Yeah, so wherever there are a lot of trees is definitely most beneficial.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so Brad, I want to thank you so very much for coming on and discussing the LED street lights and the project that's being done down Elvis Presley to make it more aesthetically beautiful, as well as to increase the reliability as we put those overhead lines underground for our customers. Thank you so very much for being with us today.
Oh, my pleasure. Enjoy it like always, Gale. Thank you.
Memphis Light Gas and Water strives to be a good corporate neighbor, and one of the ways we do that is by giving back to the community. MLGW, in partnership with the Mid-South Food Bank, hosted a mobile food pantry on June 6 at St. Augustine's Catholic Church in South Memphis. Employee volunteers sorted, packed, and loaded cars with grocery items. As a result, 304 families were provided with nutritious meals. Thank you for allowing us to share with you some of the ways that we are giving back to our community.
You're watching the Library Channel, a broadcast service of the Memphis Public Libraries and the City of Memphis.